From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. Welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite slogans, which is intentional energy management. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to jump on and book a free alignment call with me. This is 20 minutes where we can one-to-one privately deep dive on what's going on in your business and where you want it to go. And I can reiterate how I will help you get there. If today's episode is interesting to you and you like these ways of looking at business, which is very different to your everyday hustle culture, you might enjoy the Gentle Business Program, which is 6 months one-to-one coaching, and I'm almost full for this year, and it won't be running again until March 2025. So check that out in the show notes. Intentional energy management is a slogan that I use to convince my feminine energy spiritual girlies to being strategic in their business. If you think about it, strategy means you have a plan, you're also adapting, you're taking note of what's going on, and you're reacting and responding to it in a calm, collected, and planned out way. And I truly see strategy as a way of being supremely intentional with how you use your energy and where you direct it. If you've heard the term business strategy, business development, and you don't know what it is and it feels really big and it feels really icky, I want you to rephrase that as I'm looking at the intentional energy management within my business. We all only have a certain amount of hours in the day. We all only have a certain amount of attention, energy, and focus in the day. We all have different capacities. Some of us that's really high, a lot of us that's not that high. And we need to treat our focus and our energy and our time as the precious commodity and the sacred commodity that it is. If you're not doing that in your business, it will translate to making less money, but it will also translate to you being very tired and overthinking and feeling like things are very hard. When you can start to intentionally direct your energy, all of a sudden things feel really easy. For instance, when I have clients come and work with me and they come out of it with 12 weeks worth of content completely scheduled on all platforms, and all of a sudden, rather than doing an Instagram post 3 times a week, they're doing, 10 posts over 5 different platforms for the next 6 weeks, and it's all done, it's all organized, it's all automated. They feel very, very good, and they feel confident and relaxed in a way that they have never thought was possible in business. And I'm not here to say it's possible. I'm here to say that's what it should be like. The first step in starting to intentionally direct and manage your energy is to be really clear, honest, and specific with your reasons for doing things. This should be an episode in and of itself because it's something that I'm starting to become a broken record. And 9 times out of 10, when my clients ask me a question, I'll ask them, what's your intention with this? Both for me to understand how to give them good advice, but also for them to think about it because they might never have thought about it, or they might be gaslighting themselves. A very, very common occurrence of this is when people say they want to start a podcast because they want to build their community, but what they really want is to make more money. And if you go into making a podcast to build community versus making sales, those 2 podcasts do and should and will look and sound completely different. And the problem is that if you go into it telling yourself you have one beautiful, nice, altruistic, feminine energy intention, but in the back of your head, you're wanting to make money, do you know what that produces? That produces a dried up prune full of resentment. And I know a lot of you are there. You're resenting, you're frustrating, you're pissed off, you're jealous, you're envious. Why do they have that? Why does it work for them and not for me? And it's because they're being very clear and very honest with themselves in the actions that they're taking. And you're probably trying to do things in a way that you think you're allowed to, or that is nice girl energy. The other part in intentional energy management is really understanding your own energy and cycles. And this also needs to be linked with being self-aware and not reactive. So, super, super common one that most people listening to this will resonate with. And I think the older you get, the better you get at this. I will have women come to me in the week before their period or when they've just got their period, and they literally want to give up on their business and they think everything sucks and they want to change everything and they're like almost in tears. And like, sometimes they don't like to hear it, but the reality is like, babe, you're getting your period, you just don't feel that good. And I've had multiple occasions where 5 days prior, that same person has said to me, I have never felt this confident and clear in my business. I've never felt this empowered. And 7 days later, they're a mess. We need to not respond to our moods and the things that go on for us. I know for myself, 3 days before my period, I don't feel that great. The day before my period, I will probably feel depressed. If I changed the way I approached my life and business according to those feelings, I know I wouldn't be hitting 50K months. And that's not to say you power through and you work through it. No, no, no. You take the day off, you relax, you rest, you go and read a book, you do whatever you want to do and what you need to do to feel nourished. And if in that case, stepping away for that day or 3 days is what you need, that's totally fine. But it's having the self-awareness to understand that's what's happening and not buying into the drama around it that's going to make you feel unstable. That's what I mean by you have to be self-aware and you have to know your own energy and know what happens for you. Maybe it's not your period, maybe it's winter, or maybe it's when you talk to a certain family member or something like that. Or you've had a fight with your partner, something's happened that you need to know how you respond to things and you need to not be reactive when that comes up. But it takes a self-awareness initially. This is wrapped up in this concept of, I say this all the time, you have to stop letting your moods dictate how you show up in your business. If you are not intentionally managing your energy and you're not developing that self-awareness and you're not focusing on not being reactive and not buying into the drama, because we're all dramatic. There's nothing wrong with having drama. It's just, are you self-identifying with it and is that affecting your behavior? What I do see is that the people who aren't doing all of those things, they tend to drop the ball or completely disappear when they're not feeling great. And I see it for a couple of weeks and sometimes even 3, 6 months, 12 months. And another part of this intentional energy management that I love and that I'm always working on in my own business, and I just love setting it up for other women, is automations and systems so that you're not having to show up every day. Right now, when I'm recording this, I think I get like, I don't know, maybe 27 days off in August, but I'm going to be on every single marketing channel and the emails are going out and the podcasts are going out. Am I going on Instagram every day? Nope. Nope. And if I didn't have these automations and systems set up, I wouldn't be able to get this really, really deep rest. Yeah. And really replenish and nourish myself for myself, my own well-being, and also for my next cohort of clients. It is quite funny because really automating things, especially automating social media, I've noticed that people are incredibly resistant to it. They're really pushing back on me and they're avoiding it. And it's insane. Like there's no other way to describe it. That's insane because this is the thing that's not only going to create consistency and cohesion and trustworthiness and enough repetition that people will start thinking to buy from you, but also it's going to give you back so much time and so much energy. If any of this has stand out to you, or you're thinking that you want to work on some of this stuff and you want to move into that more professional, up-leveled way of being in your business, and you want someone who's helped hundreds of women move through this over almost 7 years, this is what we do in the If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast a review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.